So what we see, I keep getting a lot of questions on what is this AI, like what is it, where is it going? And what we see is in the consumer world, you're already using AI, it's already helping us. When you go to Amazon and you try to, and Amazon is recommending you some things, that's part of AI technology. When you use Apple Siri on your iPhone and call an Uber, it's using a technology called natural language processing. In Facebook, you used to manually have to tag your friends. Now Facebook does it mostly by itself. It's using a technology called machine learning. And a lot of the technology that Google is doing with the self-driving cars is a technology called deep learning. So for consumers, when we use it, we are also getting the benefit of AI. So what we said is like, how about we take these advantages that we are seeing in the consumer web? Because if you see the history of Salesforce, as Parker said, the inspiration always has been consumer web. When Parker and Mark started, they wanted to make this as easy as Amazon. So we went back to the consumer world and said, how do we do this? How do we bring this in? But then what we realized is, why don't businesses have all this? Because for most businesses, AI is complex. Number one, there's a lot of hidden complexity. Number one, you need all those data scientists, all the $1 billion of investments we made, you need a lot of them. Few of them, very pricey, it's hard to get them. But it's not enough. Once you get it, the first thing they all ask you is, where is my data? Where is my data? Because they want data, they're data scientists. And it's a lot of effort to bring all these data sources from different places, integrate them, model them, create these models. And you think if you're done? No, then you have to ensure those models show up in your apps. There is a lot of work. So one of the things we always prided at Salesforce is to simplify the complexity and bring it to you so that you can, as business users, drive your business in new ways. So as we're thinking about it, let's say, where should this inspiration come from? And we said, who's the best, smartest person that we know? That's Einstein. So that's how the name came. And the most important thing that Einstein brought, in my opinion, is he brought this simplicity from complexity. This equation is equal to mc squared. Even though it's a simple equation, it explains everything from Big Bang theory to wormholes and time travel. So we said, what's the equivalent equation that we need to think of for Salesforce? And we said, the best equation the simplest equation we said is, let's take all the customer data. All of you have been giving us your customer data, your accounts, contacts, opportunities, cases, all this data. Then we apply the AI algorithms that we have on top of it. And best of all, we use the part of the Salesforce platform that all of you use and love. And combining all these three gives us the world's smartest CRM. That looks very easy. So let's really go into a little more detail on how it works. One of the most important things to read for AI or any of these data science projects is data. So we need to capture a lot of signals. So we want to capture all the Salesforce signals that you have, your email, your calendar, your social, your IoT signals. Then all these data signals, the stream of data comes in. We need to be able to manage that complex streams of data. Then we need to apply these algorithms which will learn, automate all that process so you can discover and recommend insights. So that we can help you guide your sales reps, your assist your service reps, empower your marketers. And that allows you to connect to your customers in a whole new way and enable all the business processes that you're doing. So how do we build this? How do we build this? Like, you know the Salesforce platform. We said, hey, this is the Salesforce platform. And we said, should we build Einstein separately? No, it won't work because you want all the apps to be smart. The only way we can do is to bring Einstein deep into the platform so that if you put it deep into the platform, all the apps that we give you, like sales, service, marketing, get them faster. But you know, there are more than 500,000 apps that our customers have written on the Salesforce platform. That's the investment you made in Salesforce. We want to bring all this intelligence so that you can leverage your apps, custom apps you build. All of it becomes smarter too. So we want to bake it into that layer. So what we said is, let's bring Einstein deep into the platform. Okay, it should go by now. So one of the things we did was, so that's how we did it. So once we put it in that layer, you can see that this is our platform. At the bottom part is our multi-tenant platform. This gives you a security and trust. And then we have the data lake. That's our platform. It has got all your data. It's a data management platform, IoT data, social data, CRM data. It manages that. And then Einstein sits on top of it, and it's able to understand all those signals and apply those algorithms. And then we expose it through our Lightning UI layer, so all our apps at the top, including your custom apps, can take advantage of it. That's how the technology works. Now, how does it translate? So if you are a Sales Cloud user, suddenly you can use predictive lead scoring or opportunity insights to make your sales reps smarter. If you are in a call center, suddenly your call centers can be smarter and more efficient because you are routing the cases to the agent who has proven that they solve these cases in the fastest time. If you're a Marketing Cloud user, one of the big issues marketers have is they do these hundreds, thousands of emails, and the click rate is very slow, very low. So one of the things we are able to do is do predictive journeys so that when you send these emails, before you even send, you know what will be the click rate and you can optimize on that. If you're on Commerce Cloud, we can do Amazon-like recommendations. And most important of all, on the App Cloud, all the apps that you build suddenly can leverage the technology. That's what we are able to do. This is just some of the features. We have more than 30 plus intelligence features we have released, and we'll continue to release them. Now, we talked a lot, and no Salesforce presentation is good unless we do some live demos. So I'm going to use Kara and Janice there on the demo stage to do some demo. So let's look at this. This is a brand new Windows 16 release we just did. And we put Einstein, that's the main home page, and we put Einstein at the top. So if you want to learn more about Einstein, let's get started. So the moment you click on it, what it's doing, it's trying to read the signals. Remember that picture I showed, one of the most important things we need for AI is signals. So it's going to read your CRM signals, all your account, contact, lead data. If you gave your calendar information, it will read your calendar data, your email data, and your social data. And then it's important, one more thing I want to tell you, if you look at the CRM data, there's something called custom objects. Now this was very hard because for us, we don't know your data, we don't know your data, we don't even understand it semantically. So this is very hard for us to build AI which doesn't understand semantically what your data is because that's what you own. So you almost had to build an AI to build this AI. So that was very hard to do. Not only that, one of the most important, one of the dirty secrets of data science, which every data scientist will tell you is, 85% of their time is spent wrangling the data and data engineering. What we have done is we have taken that out. So all these signals, all this mapping, all the transformation, we do it for you. That's the hard part. That's very hard to do, and I think that's what we did. Now, so let's do one thing. Let's enable Google Calendar. The moment you enable Google Calendar, suddenly you see more signals. Now you got 23K more signals. What's Einstein doing behind the scene? It's reading all these signals, it's processing, it's trying to understand patterns, and it's trying to generate insights. So when you now go to the home page back, you will see that Einstein is generating some insights, and you see Einstein has mentioned that on an opportunity a competitor was mentioned. So if you click on that, Einstein has figured out that there is a competitor mentioned, and the competitor and the contact channel is mentioning the competitor in a tweet. Now it's very important, the subtlety here is, I didn't tell who my competitor is to Einstein. I didn't tell that the channel is my key contact. What Einstein has done is look at all my opportunities, look at all my emails, figured out based on the patterns that this is the competitor, and it's able to connect and tell you. Not only that, because this is a competitor mentioned by the contact, it's also suggesting an action, which is either you can call or email or direct message. So that's an example of Einstein helping you to do better. So let's go back. The other thing we can see is leads. Now, Salesforce, in our business, we use a lot of leads. I'm sure a lot of you use leads in your businesses. So if you see, one of the leads it's pushed up is Mary Beckham. Mary Beckham has a very high lead score. Now, Einstein has figured out that she is a key influencer because of her title, and it is also figured out that based on my past history, that I tend to sell very well to electronics enterprises. That's very critical. So, and then what it said is because of that it gave a high rating. And then it's also figured out that many came to my website to do a product demo. These are the signals it's fed. Now, I didn't tell Einstein that enterprise electronics is very critical. I didn't tell Einstein that, hey, VP of sales is a key influencer. Looking at the past data and history, it's able to do that. And then what Einstein is able to recommend is a meeting is needed and you can send an email. So when you click on that email, what Einstein is going to do is figure out that who the contact is, suggest additional CC items, and based on some templates, it will pre-fill the template. And more importantly, it's not only able to do that, because I gave my calendar information also to Einstein, it's looking at the signal and automatically suggesting a free time on my calendar for the meeting. So this is what Einstein is able to do. Now, so I can just send an email here or tweet from this place. Now, if you are like any other business, you're not dealing with one lead. You may have hundreds of leads. So if you go back to our lead homepage in Lightning, this is the brand new leads homepage, you can see a lot of leads. And typically, I could sort them by a title or an email or a location or inactive days. And you go through it, and most reps hope that the people they call are going to pick up the phone. What we are going to do is now, we are going to use the lead scoring algorithms that we showed you and give you this field called lead score. So now it's very important. It's like any other field on the platform. And you can sort on it, you can do a lot of things on it because it's like any other field on the platform. And this is what Parker meant when he said we dig deep into the platform. You can do the things you would do on a field in a platform, like custom reports. You could write workflow rules. You can do everything that you can do on a column, on a field. You can do with these Einstein fields. These are the smart fields. So one of the things we could do is, if you are a business, you may have different routing rules. You may say, so let's see how you can configure this. So if you go to our setup and you see this is where you set up Einstein. So if you click on the configure button, what's going to happen is, remember we saw the previous signals? Along with that signals, we created default personas for you, like for the sales professional, sales leader, service agent, market manager, etc. You can obviously, like anything in the platform, you can always customize those personas. So if you look at the lead routing, what you may want to do is, hey, for lead scores below 50, I want to do a drip campaign. I want to do a part or nurture campaign by email to keep them engaged. Between 50 and 95, I may want to route to 10 inside sales steps. You can do a follow-up. But if it's a very hot lead, score more than 95, I immediately want to notify AE. Now, what are you looking at? This is the process builder that we have. This is part of the platform. Just by the way, process builder is doing more than 50 billion transactions every month. So it's used heavily. All the entities love it, all the entities like it because, again, there's very little code you need to write. It's sort of configuration. So you use that, and let's activate this. The moment you activate it, what it's going to do, if you're a field sales rep, if you have a hot lead, what Einstein is going to do is, using the power of the platform, send a notification to the field sales rep. So the field sales rep looks at the hot lead, looks at it, he sees he's got a very important lead, he's got all the information, and he can just call and close the deal. This is what Einstein does for you. Now, what we have seen so far is how we built Einstein and how it's made deep into the platform. But as Parker was saying, it's just not there. We have been investing heavily on the Lightning process so that everything you have invested in brings forward to the brand new UI with much more clicks than code. So over the last 1 year, we have been very busy. And what we have done is we have been always true to the code. That's very near and dear to our heart. We have retired more than 750,000 idea exchange points. And we have innovated, we have added more than 500 plus Lightning features since Dreamforce. Things like contacts to multiple accounts, campaigns in Lightning, and quoting in Lightning. One of the advantages of Lightning platform is not only does it allow you to go faster, it's allowing all my developers to build faster. Because we built this platform, and anything at Salesforce we build, including Einstein, we build it for my developers too. We use the same platform. So you should almost think of the apps we do as reference apps. We build a platform, we build our apps like sales service, and then you get to build other things too. So it's allowing me also to move very fast. So that's what we have done, and that's my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.